Okay, now we'll try to see if we can animate this system we built here. So I can take the target needle and just hide it. I'm going to just say Control H on my Mac. And I'm going to use probably two windows predominantly. I don't see myself using that top window very much, so I think what I'll do is, well, let's just leave it like this for a few minutes, see what happens. So the first thing I want to do is I want to take that rod, which theoretically controls all the pellets. I want to see, there's the, let's see where the first pellet is. Theoretically, that's the top pellet. No, it's not anymore. It's been moved around, I think. Okay, yeah, that's the bottom pellet. Okay, the bottom pellet means the one nearest the tip of the needle. So I can take my rod and I can see right here where the tab is, that elevation on the pellet, and I can just theoretically now move my parent, meaning the rod, and because all four of those pellets are children of that, I can then push them through. Now if I want to go back to where the rod began, since it's been modified, frozen its transformations, I know that's where the start of it is. So at frame 1, with everything selected, we're not going to do anything other than translation, so I'm just going to keyframe those values at 0. Okay. Now we're not going to take a long time for that to get down the pike there, so let's say let's take a little, I think I'm working on 30 seconds, so let's take 20 frames. I'm working on 30 frames per second, so 20 frames would be about 2/3 of a second. And what I'll do is I use this side view again with the rod still selected, and I'll move it so that the tab on the pellet just begins to abut that tab on the needle there. Okay, so we just kind of fit in that groove. Now, the next step then is I want to set a keyframe there for everybody. All right. Now what I want to do is have my shape blend begin to work for me. Okay, so right here, I'm going to, I think I closed my window, so let me get my animation window, shape editor. So right now I'm going to set that keyframe, and it's at 110 or 0.110. That's going to be, let's see if I can fit that over there. Okay, so that's going to give me a key set right there. I need that back for a second. Okay, now I'm going to take that out because I can't. Let me get this out of here now. I'm going to have to open this up a little bit. Oh, I'm sorry, I can do it from here. I'm going to take it out just so I can see the full length of it. So I want to spread this. Okay, so I'm going to move this timeline 2 seconds, and for 2 seconds, or 2 frames rather, and for 2 frames nothing's going to happen, except I'm actually going to to press. Remember we said I made this thing narrower than it needs to be? I'm going to go all the way to 0. So see what I've done is I've gone from 110 all the way down to 0. Okay, and I'm going to key that as well. Now you notice you're not seeing the keyframes on the timeline. In order to do that, if I click the needle and then go into the channel box and find that blend shape we made and click it, now you'll see now you can see the two frames that we set. Okay, if I go back and just click the needle by itself, sorry I don't have the needle there. Now you'll see now you can see the frames we set for that. So the needle hasn't moved, I'm sorry, it's actually the rod that we set all the animation on right now. So there's the two keyframes for the rod. So the rod's coming out, and at 22, I want the rod to still be sitting there, same place it was at 20. So all that's going to happen is that there'll be a very subtle closure, and this is called anticipation. So I'm trying to anticipate the popping open of that. So I'm actually closing, going in the opposite direction as a way of getting a little more information to the learner that there's a anticipated spreading occurring. So while I have that rod selected at this position, I'm also going to set its keyframe here. You notice if things are pink, that means those values have been changed but have not been keyframed currently, although they have in the past. Alright, so now I've got that. So now I'm going to come back to my timeline and go to I mean, this is not going to take long to push through, so let's give it about 15 would be about 37. Let's get about half a second, and we'll push our rod so that now that's the very end of the position it will be just before it spreads back together. Okay, so in between here, say 2 frames back, we'll change to open this up enough to accommodate. Now see in the front view you can see how those 2 tabs are touching the elevated portion of the pellet. So I'm going to get that to about this value and then set a keyframe there. And so now what should happen, if we scrub a little bit, we should see, let's make the front view an active window right now. So it's not going to do anything, and then it should close a little bit and then pop open. Okay, close a little bit and then pop open. So let's double check where that timing is coming in. We can look at so we're here, we're closed, here we've compressed, and then here we've popped open. Not a lot, but enough to accommodate the movement. So it's going to stay open at that point until I gotta get the rod again. I'm sorry, I keep trying to get the needle instead of the rod. It's going to stay open until the rod gets to the end, which is right here. Okay, and that's physically where we said the rod goes out. All right, so at this point I'm actually going to go 2 frames, open it excessively, key it, and move the rod just a touch past the end or outside the needle tabs. Then go down in space here, down a little bit. Then I'm going to move a very short period of time. So I'm at 39. I'll go to a third of a second. I'll go 49. And then I'm going to grab the pellet. Now the pellet hasn't had any animation on it yet. Remember the rod, it's the parent has been controlling this whole deal. So I'm going to just go back 46 and I'm going to set, then I'm going to go back 2 frames 48 and I'm going to move the pellet now. And I'm going to move it quite a bit. Okay, and I'm going to key it again. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Maybe it works best if we do a large view here. I've got to close that afterwards, I think. So let's go back and see what we got. Okay, so we come down, squeeze a little bit, pop out, and then fly out. I think what we've done is we've gone a little too far. Okay, but that's okay. All right, now here's where I'm sitting. Here's where I'm popped out. I got to get back. So in other words, the needle's got to close now. So now I'm actually going to go past again and key it, and then move 2 frames and go back. What did we say it was before? 110.10 and key it 1.110. Okay, let's look at our needle so we can see the whole thing maybe a little better. So we come down the chute, anticipate a little bit, pop, out, and then shoot forward. So let's set our play range to 50. Since 48 is the maximum frames, we're going to say let's rewind this, see what we get. So we kind of get that needle shooting out there at the end. Okay. Now it's just a little slow. Excuse me, with the way the opening and closing there. The needle moving forward, the pellet seems to be okay, but the needle moving forward is a little slow. So maybe we can use a graph header to adjust that.